welcome to the 145 Rural Podcast, where we are here to strengthen music careers and communities one song at a time. And now, here's your host, Jacob Wing. Yay!
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode. We're going to try to make it real quick. It's all about having your electronic press kit in order, why you might need one, what it is, steps, everything. There's even a checklist, easy download on our Patreon. It's free. All of that today. Let's get right into it. So, first thing we're going to talk about is what is an EPK? EPK. An electronic press kit is a collection of all the things that make up you as an artist or a band in a very consumable package. So, that's a huge part of it. Another part of it is that it is everything you've done, but filtered and shaped towards the people in the music industry or the press industry versus just everything for fans or for people that are going to enjoy your music. So that's really what the breakdown between an EPK and anything else. Why you would want an EPK is, again, going along those lines, is that if you need to reach out to somebody that is in the press or somebody that is in the music industry and you just need them to understand what your band is, why they might hire you, why they might write something about you, why they might do anything with your band or yourself as an artist, extremely consumable. They don't have to search around and try to find the bits and pieces that would give them the answers that they need, or, they might get, bored of that and move on to somebody else or some other group. And everything's right there, ready to go. And it gives that professional look for that to come across as you're ready to be hired and you're the right group or the right band, the right person for this job, or the right person to put something out there, for them to create some content around you, those kind of things. That might seem a little bit daunting, but it's really easy. And the thing is that we talked in previous weeks about making your one-click solution for all of your fans to have one click and go look at all of your stuff. And that is going to come right off of that. If you've already done that work, this will make it easy. If not, that's just fine. But the difference between that one click for your fans, your link in bio, your link tree, whatever you're using to get that one click for them where they can find all your social media, your current stuff you're working on, your releases, any videos, that's great. This is something different, and the whole difference between that and your website and everything else, like I said, is that we're taking that, filtering that down so it's just ready for anybody else that's already in the industry or doesn't care about all the fluff or all the other crap. They want to get down to the nitty-gritty so that they can share what you're doing from their perspective and also know, again, if you're a hireable act to give money to and that, reduces their risk. The reason that this is important to do earlier instead of later in your career, it's really easy for us to say that it's not important now, I'll get to it later. But the reason you should do it right away in the beginning of your career is that, one, it gives you that credibility, that professional look. It really helps you set yourself apart from people that are just kind of doing this as a hobby, or somebody that's just kind of getting their feet wet, but they're not really taking it seriously, or they're not doing their research and they just expect the world to come to them. This shows that you're willing to meet halfway, you're willing to put in the legwork, you're willing to do the little things that are going to set you apart and really help you stand out from amongst the people around you, the groups around you. Another good thing about that is, of course, once it's done and if you're going through this process, if it's even super early in your career, being honest, you're not going to have everything that we're going to list off right now. It's just a fact of the matter. You're just starting out. It's your first EPK. If you're doing it when you should be doing it early in your career, there's going to be things missing on this checklist. And that's okay. I want you to understand that's totally fine. But what is important about this is that you understand what is important in your electronic press kit versus everything else, and how you should be looking out for future content, future reasons, future things to put into your file system, into where you keep all your information so that it's ready to, or that that reaching out to do that interview is a good thing, and to make sure you have a link back to it and that it's going to be available to share with other people. The kind of things that you would be learning the hard way, this you'd already know right away. This is going to be important for my career moving forward. I can use this in my EPK. It's going to help me stand out. And since you did it early in your career, that's why it's going to make the hugest difference. So let's get right into it. What do you need? Let's just talk about the things you need to collect and have ready before you start getting all this stuff done, and forming or constructing what your EPK is going to be. Like I said, there's a checklist down below. Whatever you're listening to or watching on, there's one down below. It's at our Patreon. It's free, no signups, no nothing. Just go download it. And the 6 things we have on there are really straightforward. But as long as we're going through this, find a place either on your computer, on multiple hard drives, on a thumb drive, put it all in one space so that when you go to get it, it's ready to go. You have it all ready. You can formulate it out, send it where you need to, or if you're building your website, you can have your EPK right there on your website. You can have a link ready to go. These are those kind of things. So number 1, of course, is going to be your artist bio, and this should be a very well written, well thought out biography of your entire band. How did it start? I'm not going to go through the who's, what's, when's, why's, how to do this. There's lots of information out there. We'll make a video about it later. And if you really don't want to, go to Fiverr.com. I know if you can get somebody to write you some nice script for that, give them all your information. They'll give you a nice professional one in return. Just search up, write my band's bio. I think it's $20 at most, and you get a very, very nice one. So there's that route too. But make sure it's very nice. Make sure your band has a top-notch, really shows everybody what you're about. Got that bio ready to go.
Hi there, and welcome to the ad break. We're just going to take a moment to let everybody know about our community of growing members, and if you'd like to be a part of that, just look at the info below and there will be a click there for an email sign up to join in and get your voice heard. As well as if you're enjoying this content, please join our Patreon at patreon.com/145rural. There you can join any of our groups, and you can add to the discussion of what topics we will choose that will help you and hopefully future members of our groups, as well as join monthly Q&As and other such benefits. Again, that's patreon.com/145rural, and we look forward to seeing you there. Now, back to that regularly scheduled episode, and enjoy that content. Thanks again.
Next thing you're going to need is collect all of your high quality photos. You want them all in one place in this exact file. You want all of the best 4K or above photos you've got, when it comes to shots of you, the group, whoever. Make sure you've got lots of those. If you have live shots, have your best versions of your most energetic, most engaging live photos you have. And if you have any of the stuff that you've done creative-wise, it's always nice to have 1 or 2 of those in there. And, those we're talking about, like if you were in the studio or when you're doing your recording and your writing process, involving that kind of stuff in there always gives a little taste of the process and of who you are. So make sure you have all those high-quality photos. You should have at least 20. You're not going to send all those ever, but just having them on hand and, that's fantastic. Of course, the next one to talk about is your music. You're going to want to make your music available to whoever is going to be interested in, writing about you, hiring you, any of those kind of things. Another caveat of this that we have to stay right away is just not just links like here's my Spotify, here's my Apple Music, whatever that, because you don't want to have anything on there that could be behind a subscription that they might not have for whatever reason. So make sure that you have some SoundCloud links that you can send to them. And the best thing about that too is, of course, SoundCloud, you can go through and give yourself private links that are only available to people that you share it with. That way, if you don't have music that you want to release yet, or if it's music that is paid for and that you can't really share with everybody yet, perfect. Use a private link from SoundCloud. They can listen to it as much as they want. Just make sure that you're telling them, please don't share this, please don't download it, all that kind of stuff. But make sure it's a SoundCloud link because that's free, not behind a subscription wall. Moving on to the next one. Right after that is any videos you've done. Of course, this is the modern age. You should have some sort of visual media available. If you've done any kind of videos, make sure those are right there. You should have at least your top 5 examples. You don't want to overdo it, but the key to this, of course, is just use the engagement for whatever videos you shared. Even if it's your live stuff and you shared that on like Instagram or Facebook or whatever it may be, use whatever ones were getting the top likes, the top response, the top comments. If they're YouTube videos or your music videos, whichever ones get the top likes, use those first, because that tells you right there, these are the most popular. That's going to give you a little bit of social proof going forward as to you're the real deal. Here's a good reason to take you seriously. Moving on to the next one, we're going to have a list of all your contacts. You want to make sure you have all your contacts right there, ready to go. Even though you know it by memory or whatever it may be, you want a phone number for them to contact and the email for you as an artist or as the band, whatever the official one is. Just have it ready there to copy and paste. If you don't have an official one, you don't have to go out and make out something special or try to pay money to get a special phone number. Just use what's yours. You're only sharing this with people that are going to be using it, respectfully as a resource to either get more information or contact you or hire you. It's totally fine. Just use your information. Don't fake it. Don't try to look like it's from some special manager. Don't do any stuff like that. Just be you. Use your stuff. Next one is the one that as I was alluding to earlier, this might be the one that for sure you probably early in your career don't have too much, but you need to know about and, keep in mind as you're moving forward. But any kind of press you have that's either articles or anything like that, or if you've done any podcasts where you stopped and talked to somebody and there's either a podcast or a video of it, get all those links. Make sure you have those on hand. Any clippings of any news articles, links that you can get back to those, have those all on hand. Those are some of the best social proof of what you're doing, what people are thinking about, what you're all about, and how it's resonating with everybody around you in your community, all those kind of things. This is kind of what sets, the big dogs away from the tiny dogs, is, how deep their press clippings go, how many interviews they have to go for. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, it comes with time. But now that you know it's in there and you have a place to keep them and something to shoot for, you'll keep it in the back of your mind. You'll be looking out for those. You'll be giving reasons to do those. So that's the huge key win there. So real quick list there. And again, it's on the checklist. We'll have that ready for you to download. Just go take a look at that. It's super simple, but very important and, very different. The only other things we're going to touch upon besides, those really easy points is that your EPK, if you have all this information ready to go, can be almost weaponized too. And the thing, instead of just having a general overviewing one like you would use for your website or anything like that, you can use them very specifically for like a single release and, take all that information, include your artwork for the song and, the song itself to share out to the press or to people that might review it, those kind of things, and do it for just a single. Same thing for an album or, a show. If it's a very important show that you need to be doing, and share that with, trying to get that out to the promoters and, of course, if you're trying to get hired for the place in the first place, getting it to the person that does all the bill work and, hires the bands or the groups or the solo acts, can be catered just to those events. So once you have all this stuff in place, it's easy to start to learn how to filter it out, arrange it so it's going, this is for my single release. This is me trying to get hired to this group, make those available. I need to get a press release. I'm going to try to see if they want to review this song before I release it. You'll design it around that, but you already have the information. You have all of the pictures. Everything's ready to go. You got your biography. All those kind of things are ready to go. So it makes it really simple. It makes it something that you don't have to avoid or, worry about. It's just, boom, you're done. And the last thing we're going to touch upon real quick here is just when to update your EPK. And that's different for everybody. Of course, early in your career, you're going to do it maybe once every 6 months. Should probably be the least amount of time you're going between updating these things. But the more shows you're playing, the more you should be updating this. The more you're releasing music, the more this should be getting updated. Every time somebody mentions you in a quotable way, an article, or you do an interview or a podcast, update it. And, as you go along, it's going to become like, okay, this is a monthly thing. Okay, every half month, every 2 weeks, I got to do this. I got to update it. So it just depends on where you're at in your career or how things are going. but it's going to be a great way to gauge the growth in your career as you see, like, oh wow, I'm updating this very frequently. Things are going very well. So it's a great measure of how things are going. So that's it. Simple, straightforward. We got the printout for you, the PDF down below. It's free. Use it. If you have any questions or need help setting yours up, reach out to us. We'd love to help. And if there's anything else we can do for you, that's why we're here. We got another episode coming out next week. Any of this stuff helps you, please subscribe or join our Patreon. Any of that kind of stuff, give us a like. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks again, guys. Bye.